Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean Spit, the little show about big things. I hope you guys are having a great day today. And we got a great day, a great show, and a great day planned for you guys today. First of all, I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather out there. Thank you for everybody that's calling, that's sending in stories, and responding. Just listening to the show and then sharing the show. We really do appreciate that. We had a great week of guests on. Monday, we had Tina St. Angelo. She's starring in the off-Broadway play called The Sound of Music in Naperville, and it's running this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is the last time you could see it. Tina was on. It was great seeing my good friend. And of course, Laura was my co-host on Thursday, which was great. And then seeing my good buddy, country western singer-songwriter Jackson Selling out of Indiana, ladies and gentlemen. He was on American Idol runner-up in 2020 in March. 20-year-old kid, man, got a record out and doing fantastic. Just nice to have talent like that. But we got an incredible guest for you guys today, a good friend, and we all know him. But we all know Daryl Armistad as a guy who's the music guy. You know, he makes the great videos with Sonia, and he sings songs. He's a performer. He works with me. He has his own bands and stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that people through the years, and since I've known Daryl, a lot of stuff that people have no clue about the guy. And his resume is just outstanding. And we're going to get to him in just a few seconds. Of course, our good friend Daryl Armistad will be on in a couple minutes. So check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. Give us a call to book a show at 847-769-8609. Now, we're going to also start off with some great sponsors, folks. So let's go right to Roy McCampbell Law Group. That's Roy McCampbell, attorney at law, a statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. If you're looking for a good guy, an honest lawyer, which are hard to find these days, Roy is good. Give him a call, 708-275-4264. Let's not forget our good friends from Deutsch Power Center, Great Lakes, servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. That's Deutsch Power Center, 224-276-6560. And let's not forget my wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions, increasing profits while reducing credit card fees. This is her side job, of course. She works for Redfin as her main job, but everybody's got those hidden fees, and try to save some money when you're working with credit cards. She can do it. And why can she save you money, ladies and gentlemen? Because she owns a company. There's no middleman. You know how it works. She's fantastic. Check her out. Let's not forget, of course, our good buddy, some Airtight Windows, siding specialist, family-owned for 30 years for honesty and quality. Do it right with Airtight Windows. Give them a call, Lou a call at 708-788-5000. That's Airtight Windows. And let's not forget our good buddies from Don Esteban Cigars, Tarpon Springs, Florida. Hand rolls these cigars and sends them right to your home, man. Call Javier at 727-366-7536. I'm going to get all these commercials up front so I don't have to interrupt our conversation, everything with Daryl. So couple ways you guys can see the Tony Ocean Show. First of all, on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page, which you're watching right now. After the end of the hour, I ship it and I move it to the Mo Carrara page, my personal page. But if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see us right on Twitter, and you can see the show live on Twitter. And you can also see the live show on YouTube. And push that button, ring that bell, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it. At this particular time, everybody that's watching, we always ask everybody, if you can, push that button and share it. Share the show. Let everybody know about a little show called Ocean's Pit. And all we're trying to do is get some more listeners, and I hope you guys can enjoy yourself for a little fun, a little lunchtime fun. And I'm trying to make the show a little bit more calmer, as they say. So we are going to go along, and we got a couple things coming up in the future, which is going to be very, very cool. Last but not least, let's not forget our friends from Trico Hair Experts, recreating great hair days. That's the great Anthony and Carmela out of Rosemont, Illinois, 773-999-7888. All right. Now, yesterday I was weird, very weird, but I had a Thursday night off. Now, how that happened was, unfortunately, of course, of the incident in Highland Park with the shooting during the parade on the 4th of July and all that, they decided to hold off some of their entertainment in certain places. So it was rescheduled to the end of the month of August. So we weren't at Players Grill, but we will return there next month. So I and my lovely wife, Laura, went out on a date night. And it doesn't happen too often. And it wasn't really a date night when it was just us. We like being with some of our friends. And, of course, we were out with Tony and Denise, Deanna, one of our best friends, of course. And we went to the old Zeal. It was called Meze. And we had Regina and Rodney. Rodney's our guitar player, playing in the wine on the outside patio. And the outside patio, usually it's open to the public. But yesterday was like a wine members club or something, so you can only be there if you were a wine member. Inside was Bill Saratella and Jeff Dubray. So we stayed in there a little bit, and then Jennifer, the owner of Meze, the manager, great lady, got us to go inside the wine spritzer or whatever it was, and we went in there and had a good time. And so we sang with Regina, and we sang with Bill and Jeff, and Mikey D showed up, Jerry Jams. It was great seeing Stephanie Lemon was there too, and Danny and all the guys. So it was a lot of fun, and we sang, and we closed the place. We actually closed the place. 12 o'clock, we were still there, Jeff, Bill, me, Tony, Denise. It was pretty Mikey D. And the food was great, and of course, cocktails were even better. So it was a lot of fun. Now, today we have two shows. We're starting in the afternoon for a special show at the Friendship Village Senior Show with Jerry Jams from 7 to 8. And then 8:30, I'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Ryan O'Ryan. Saturday, we are at Taverna on Division with Jerry Jams and Tony Toto. Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, that's outside Taverna on Division, folks. Outside patio, go to the #1 patio in the suburbs of Chicago. And Sunday is going to be a little downtime. Every year, me and my sister go to Bristol Renaissance Fair, and we kind of reenact and go dress up and do the whole Renaissance thing. And people think, when I first mentioned this to people are going, "What, Tony, you get into that shit?" I have a great time doing it because I spend time with my sister, which is the good part. And then I'm off for 2 days out to Wisconsin Dells with the Antonellis, going to kick back and have some fun and just get away. So we got a lot of great stuff coming up, important shows coming up. Let's take you folks, of course, August 4th will be at Zaza's in Lake Barrington. August 6th will be at Moretti's in Hoffman Estates, outside patio. August 7th, 2 shows. We're going to be at the Taste of Elmwood Park with Ocean's Rat Pack from 1 to 2 with Ryan O'Ryan. And then at night, we'll be with Jeff Dubray at the Speakeasy in St. Charles for Sinatra Sunday. Big one coming up, Taylor Street Fest. And, of course, Daryl will be joining us on that. Taylor Street Fest, we're excited. August 12th. Main stage, Ron Onesti's bringing back this great Taylor Street Fest. It's going to be a lot of fun, August 12th. August 14th, folks, very important, a special benefit for ALS. ALS. It's a horrible, horrible disease, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the former Detroit linebackers just passed away from ALS today. We know our good friend Steve Mongo McMichael, former Chicago Bear, Super Bowl champ, of course, has the horrible endings of ALS, folks. And the benefit is for Steve Mongo McMichael. There will be a lot of Chicago Bears there. Kevin Butler, all the Bears, even their Chicago Six, the band with the Bears who play. It's a great cause. It's going to be at Bourbon Street, Marionette Park with Ocean's Rat Pack. It's going to be Sunday the 14th. And remember, folks, Big Mike's going to be on the show next week. Big Mike, the big promoter that brought us out to Arizona, and he's the one putting this all together. There is no cure for ALS. No cure. Cancer, at least you got a shot. It might be a small shot, but you got a shot. So it's horrible. And Steve Mongo McMichael, with a lot of people, comes almost like he's unrecognizable, but he will be there. And people say, "Why are you coming out?" And he goes, "It might be the last time I'll be able to get out in public." So it's going to be for a good cause for ALS. and we're excited about that. August 10th will be at Riley's in Elmhurst. August 11th will be at Manny's in Elmhurst. 2 shows, 2 different places out of town. All right, so let's get there. Before we bring up our guest real fast, let's just say hello to some of our friends that are watching today. How you doing, Mary? How you doing? From Tennessee. That's right, Mary. Taste of Elmwood Park is the 7th of August from 1 to 2. Great to see you. Craig Olson, good to hear that you're going to try to keep your blood pressure down. Craig Olson, I'm going to try, my good friend, and I hope you're well, my good buddy. Tony Toto, look to see you, buddy. Emo, Isabella Drake, was great seeing you last night, hon. It was fun just seeing everybody together. It was fun. Peggy Flynn from Wisconsin, Patrick, Santa Barbara, St. Louis. There's Tina. Good luck, Tina, tonight at the Sound of Music in Naperville. She stars in the show. Albert, Luann, great seeing you guys. St. Louis is watching here. Lena and Ellen checking in from downtown Chicago. How you doing? Joe Nashcombe, Wisconsin. We got Michigan. We got Philadelphia. We got Ohio and Iowa watching today. And we have a great show for you. All right. Without any further ado, I want to give you his accomplishments when I have him. You know, he's just an incredible guy. You know, he doesn't say too much, but when he does, it's like one of those he's like a Walter Matthau. He's got that dry sense of humor. And sometimes when he says something, you don't know if he's kidding or not. Very wise man, very intelligent man. He's a guy that if you need someone, a call, Daryl's the first guy to say, I'll help you. And I've been very fortunate to call him my friend. And we'll be using him a hell of a lot more this year and going for future. I'm excited to work with him. So let's bring him back, my good friend, Professor Jester.
What's up? What's up? Hey, happy Friday. Can you hear me?
Friday, man. We are on Echo. Or is it just me?
Oh,
okay, a little echo.
Still there?
All right.
I'll go into settings and kill the echo.
Yeah, there you go. Kill the echo. We're watching. And we got the air with us, folks. Daryl, the echo is gone. So how you doing, buddy? What are you up to? Hello? I lost you, Daryl. You are frozen. All right, there you are. I lost your voice. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
All right.
There you are. Say hello again.
Hello.
There. Now I can hear you. All right, Daryl. How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Great, man. How you doing, pal? What's going on?
Doing terrific. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a wonderful Friday.
It is a wonderful Friday, Daryl, and thank you for being on. Now, we had you on the show before, and we basically talked about your music career, and you've been doing it for so long. But when you sent me your resume, folks, now for people that are listening here or can't see the show today, we're going to share this later on. You can watch this anytime you want on the show. I'm just going to go start right off. First of all, Daryl, where were you born, my friend?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
And Indianapolis is beautiful up there. Now, you just went back home, or you're going back home to do a show up there? When are you doing that?
Yeah, I did a show there July 9th at a new club they opened up in Indianapolis. So I was part of that club opening.
What was it like? What was it like going back home there, Daryl?
Well, I haven't lived in Indianapolis for 27 years, and so I was hoping people would still remember me. And amazingly, we filled up the club with people that still remembered me from 27 years ago.
See, that's because you leave that mark every time somebody meets you, Daryl.
Yeah, that could be a skid mark. I hope not.
It could be a skid mark. Let me ask you something. What's the difference between playing in Indianapolis out there, the crowd there, compared when you're playing in Illinois and Chicago?
No difference. People are people. And, if you entertain people, they like what you do. They love you anywhere you go.
Absolutely. And I love Indianapolis. It's beautiful up there. Very nice place. Okay, so you come from a big family, Daryl, again?
No, a small family. Just my sister and I. I've got a big sister. So there's just a family of 4, mom, dad, sister, and me.
Did you always get along, you and your sister, when you were growing up?
Oh, we're best friends. As a matter of fact, it's hard to tell us apart. People think we're actually the same person.
Okay, so there you cool. So your mom and dad put you guys to, it's kind of cool. You always wanted to be in music, even though you've done so many other things. Was there someone in your family? Who was the person that gave you that influence in music, or was it someone you've seen on TV or heard on the radio?
Well, I come from a family of musicians, and so it's really hard to say which one because they were all musicians. I've got a cousin that is Bill Simmons, leader of Midnight Star. That's a platinum group from the 70s and 80s,
Sure,
produced a lot of funk records.
sure.
I've got another cousin, Rodney Stepp, who was music director for the mighty Detroit Spinners. I've got
Wow.
another cousin who I really try to copy everything he did, and he's not famous, but he's a tremendous piano player, Michael Simmons. And then my sister is also a musician, choir director, pianist, organist, but everybody in my family is a musician. And so it's not that I really wanted to be a musician, it felt like I didn't have a choice. As soon as I was old enough or my legs were long enough to reach the pedals on the piano, I was forced to start piano lessons. So I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, but Daryl, that's a great story. Now, did you guys ever, with all the guys you just mentioned, the guys and girls, did you guys ever get together and jam at one time?
No.
Oh, okay. Now that would have been kind of cool to put everybody put together for a little family jam. Would have been kind of interesting to hear.
Well, we're working on it. We're planning a family reunion next year, and it may be that we all get together and jam next year. But
I
that'll be
think
the
that would,
first time.
I think that would be kind of cool. I think people would like to see this. All right, so um, music. Let's just start off with that. We all know some of that stuff here. Let's start with the music. Operated in commercial recording studio in Indianapolis for 16 years. None of my customers had a hit record, but Atlantic, but was about to sign one of my clients when the group broke up. Whether he had hit records or not, doing that for a long time, what's it kind of like working in a recording studio? It's got to be pretty exciting because every day it's something new, right?
Yeah, I had a variety of artists, all the way from pop, country, rap. Had classical artists, R&B. So covered all forms of music. You never knew what was coming through the door. But one of the attractions to my studio is that I always, promise and delivered on a quick setup. And so whether it was a band coming in, I could generally get everybody what they call tracking. And so I was into the recording process, usually within a half an hour after they hit the door. It could have been faster if it wasn't a band. Bands are always the slowest because you got to set up the drums and the
Sure,
instruments. I
sure.
could
Yeah.
all get them in and out very quickly with a good product.
Yeah, you know what? You did some of our promo there for the Rat Pack. We weren't in that long, and I noticed that back when you hear the stories in the 70s and the 80s, Daryl, of these giant music producers that would take maybe 3 days just to mic the drums, or 3 days to mic the drums and the cymbals. You heard these crazy stories, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing what you can do now with technology, how fast things have become. Daryl, when you're in the studio recording, whatever, for certain artists, whatever you're doing, is it harder to record it when you don't like the shit that's actually being recorded, but they're hiring you for your services? How does that work? It's almost like a lawyer defending somebody who knows who is guilty. You know what I mean? How does that come? I always wondered, how is this guy going, boy, this stuff, I mean, I know you if you like this stuff, but how does that work?
Well, that depends on whether or not you got a poker face and your tolerances. And so, if you really hate the artist, you hate what they're doing, and it comes through your face, it's not going to work out because the client will see that you hate their stuff, and you're not going to have a repeat customer. On the other hand, if you've got a poker face and you can
Yeah, Zoe, quiet. Sorry, Zoe, I feel like it's a little nuts. All right. Yeah, so
if you can actually smile through a crappy performance knowing that you will get paid. And
if you ever had to tell, okay, Zoe, quiet. Shh. If you ever had to tell, you never had to tell an artist, boy, you might want to give this up. It's not a great song or anything like that. Never did anything like that.
Yeah, I've had terrible artists, and some of my worst artists were some of my best customers. They would almost literally hand over their paycheck to record with me week after week, month, year after year. And some of my worst clients bought me a lot of cars and a lot of good benefits. So I love terrible artists, and I kept that poker face, and I just kept smiling.
And you kept doing what
they
you
never knew.
You had to do that. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Ocean Spit, little show about big things. And of course, folks, we have the great Daryl Armistead. All right, let's get to some of this fantastic stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know that Daryl ran 18 marathons, 18 marathons, let alone trying to do one. I know people that tried to work for one and almost killed them. So 18 marathons. His first marathon was at the age of 50 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Started running at the age of 40. Ran 6 marathons in 13-month period from January 2006 to January 2007. The question to me, Daryl, is why did you start running at 40? What made you do that?
I don't remember. That's been so long ago. But I remember. Okay, it's come back to me now. I had a neighbor who would always run like he was doing a left turn. His head was tilted this way when he ran around. It was a long block in the neighborhood I lived, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And so he ran every day, and so I started running, and it just kept growing. At first it was 1 mile, then that turned into a couple of miles. And then after 10 years, it turned into 26.2 miles for a marathon.
And you but then you must have enjoyed it because you ran 18.
Yeah, well, there's a story behind that too. I only really ran the marathon because one of my coworkers was a very small lady named Linda Stein from San Francisco. She told me that she ran a marathon, and she didn't look like she was that fit to me. I mean, she was trim, but I figured if she could run a marathon, I could. And so I opened my big mouth and I said, well, if you ran one, I'm going to run one next year. And I did.
Did you, what place did you come in?
Well, you got to understand, my first marathon I ran was Chicago Marathon, and that was in 1999. And I'm pretty sure there were at least 30,000 runners for that marathon.
Sure.
And so when it's your first one, and obviously I wasn't in the top 100, but I probably it's about middle of the road. So maybe I finished about my place was 15,000.
Well, the thing is that you know what what I'm trying to say, like you said, you just your first one, you're just happy that you made through it.
Oh, absolutely.
Through it, and you see all kinds of people doing it. It must have been a lot of hard work, though, the training, right there. What did you do normally that you would normally? Is there different training for a marathon and just training to be fit and make it to a regular day?
Well, absolutely. You have to follow a training program. It usually lasts 4 months. And so if you're training for Chicago, training will start the 1st of June, and you're running Chicago Marathon sometime in October. And so you build up to really start marathon training. You've got to have a base of where you're running at least 20 miles a week for about a year. And then you can start your marathon training. And you start it at about the running 5 or 6 days a week for 20 miles a week. And right towards the end, 2 weeks before the marathon, you're probably running anywhere from 40 to 60 miles a week. And then you taper for 2 weeks, and then you run a marathon at 26.2 miles.
Well, that's fantastic, Daryl. I always wonder when sometimes you watch that stuff on TV and stuff, what happens with the weather? If it's cold, you got to dress up to a certain part, but sometimes they're with their shorts and the whatchamacallit. What happens if it's raining? I mean, how does that affect? It's got to affect the run, correct?
Right. Well, when you're a 4-season runner and you run all year, you run through the rain, through the snow, through the ice, through the heat. And so, yeah, you dress accordingly, but you acclimate to it. And so especially when you're training all summer. You can get used to running in hot weather. Try to minimize it by running in the morning before it really heats up during the day.
Yeah.
But I've I ran a LA marathon, I think, in 2002, where the race started at 8 o'clock in the morning, but towards the end of the race, race temperatures were in the 90s. The coldest marathon I ever run, of course, was Chicago.
Of course, absolutely.
I run Chicago in the 30s. Yeah, you're going to layer, but one of the nice things, all the fastest times are going to be in cold weather because by running, your body temperature is going to be at least 10 to 15 degrees warmer than the air temperature. So if it's 30 degrees outside, your body feels like it's 40 to 45, and then you dress to bring your body up to 60, and you're fine.
And then you're fine. I always wonder, I never see these people taking a drink of water while they're running. How does that, and what happens?
Watching.
Okay, what happens when you got to go to the bathroom?
You go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's porta potties along the racetrack. Usually, most runners don't go to the. Okay, like you got to hydrate in the morning. You're hydrating the day before. You want to time it, and so that an hour before the race time, you're taking your last potty break, so you don't have to potty when you run the marathon. Marathon times are typically for most runners between the people win the race at about 2 hours. 5 minutes if they're a professional runner. And most runners will complete the course within 5 hours. For me, I'm about like a 4 hour and change guy.
Okay.
So you do drink water. Most runners drink water about 3 or 4 ounces of fluid every 10 minutes because you're sweating a lot of water and you need to rehydrate. So if you didn't see us drinking water, we drink on the run. So, we'll toss it down, keep moving. We don't stop.
And keep moving. Yeah, I see that. Absolutely. Now let's get, Allstate, you're in good hands. How many times you used to hear that? Retired in 2006 after 34 years being at a company. That's pretty good, man. State claim manager for Missouri when they transferred you to Northbrook home office in 2003. Was that a shock going from Missouri to Northbrook?
Yeah, especially real estate prices.
Yeah,
real estate is very affordable in St. Louis, not so much up here.
Yeah, right. Well, so how was it working for Allstate? I remember growing up, that's all you used to hear is Allstate, 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 Allstate. It's a company that's been around for a very long time, and it's a pretty good achievement to be doing that all those years, Daryl.
Yeah, I love working for Allstate. They really treated their employees well when I worked there, and they also gave me an offer I couldn't refuse in 2006. I took a buyout to retire early. And as much as I enjoyed working, I enjoyed not working even more.
Even more, absolutely. Yeah, it's cool that you got to do that. Now here's another thing, folks. Besides, I don't even know. I was just, everything that's on this resume. Now, okay, so I did a couple runnings and the marathon. Oh, that's great. What else can I do? I know, go climb mountains. Now, folks, that's right. Daryl, mountains, yes. How about this list, ladies and gentlemen? He climbed 6 peaks over 14,000 feet. Mount Elbert, highest peak in the Rockies, as a solo climb. That means by himself. For some of you people might be just waking up. North face of Mount Shasta, and not the drink, Shasta, the mountain, ice climb with a rope team. Daryl, what on earth would tell you to say, I'm going to wake up one morning and I'm going to go climb a mountain? Is that how it happened? Or this wasn't another bet, was it, like the race?
No, I had a boss that was a mountaineer. And she invited my wife and I to climb Pikes Peak with her. And we did. And so that was my first climb, and I enjoyed it, and I just kept doing it.
That's fantastic. Now, was there a certain mountain that you had to pick? Why was Mount Elbert was the highest peak, but why that one? How does that work when you become a mountain guy? How do you decide which one you're going to climb or what are you going to do?
That one, I did a search on what's the highest highest mountain in the Rockies. And so that's why I picked Mount Elbert. It's not a popular mountain. And so there's very few climbers. For example, Shasta, there's a lot of climbers on Shasta. So you can't get lost. The trails are well marked. Elbert's not that popular. And so you have a topography map where you have to look at landmarks, but natural landmarks, there's no signs. And so since there's no people, I went there because it wasn't a technical climb. It was high. It was a lot of hiking. I didn't have to take an ice axe to pick my way up an ice field, nothing like that. But the danger of Mount Elbert was that it wasn't marked. It was easy to get lost. It was easy to get so lost without any cell phone reception that I just would have been there forever. One of those people lost on a mountain that they never
No,
found.
the mountain. Yeah, and Daryl, how old were you when you did that?
Must have been around 47, 48, something like that.
47, 48. Let's just interrupt real fast. Of course, the diva herself, Sonia Hicks, is watching and says hello. Sonia, incredible voice. I'd like to get Sonia on the show one day, too. She's got an incredible voice, and you never got to see her. Who else? Let's see. One of Sonia's friends here, Peggy Flynn from Kenosha, Wisconsin, said, I used to work with Sonia years ago at Jim Beam. Oh, there you go. So Sonia worked for the whiskey company. Very nice. See, a little bit more. It's more finding more and more fascinating stuff about these guys. Now, Daryl, the training, mountain climbing, much different than marathon training in similarity.
You gotta have the quads and the glutes built up. So things like stair climbing, running is good. But okay, it's things like squats when you're doing free weight training. So you really got to build up your lower legs, and so that you can, actually do the elevation to get up a mountain. Let's see, just by comparison, climbing a 14er is about the same effort that you would put out for running 2 marathons. And so it's a lot more work intensive. Actually, I give myself a break by doing a marathon instead of climbing a mountain.
See, that's amazing. And obviously, you solo climb, you're on your own. The responsibility is all yours. You got to do what you got to do. But ice climb with a rope team is a little harder, but you have to combine to being a team effort, right? How do you know you trust these guys that you're climbing up with?
Well, that's you got to trust, but the rope helps. Okay, here's a drill. You're on a rope team because when somebody falls, the rest of the team can support them and keep them from falling off the mountain. But it has to happen real quick because, like, say, if 2 people fall, then the 5 or 6 man rope team, they're all going off the mountain. So as soon as somebody falls, they scream falling, and the rest of the team has to take their ice axe and dig in with the ice,
right,
and take the spikes on their feet and dig in. And so they're clinging to the mountain like a fly sticks on a wall, but that'll keep the person that's falling from taking the team with them. So it works, and you practice it. So you actually go up an ice field with the team. Somebody falls, and the rest of the team has to stick them on the mountain. And so you get a little confidence because you practice it. And then once you do your summit ascent, somebody invariably, it was never me, but somebody else will fall, and the rest of the team will have to hold them to the mountain, and it works.
And it does work. I mean, I just don't. It's amazing some of the stuff you've done, and when you see these things, I mean, you see the stuff on TV, and I watch shows and stuff. But then when you actually know somebody who's actually done all this stuff, which is very, very cool. Do you prefer doing the solo climb or the rope climb, team climb?
Well, I prefer doing the team climb because I was the most nervous during the solo climb because most of the time I didn't know where the heck I was. And so just, finally getting to the top, I was so relieved. And then getting back down to the bottom, I was relieved again. But I was sweating it the whole time, wondering if I was lost forever.
Well, Daryl, a question I'm asking, I'm sure people have asked you this, is it harder going up or coming down?
Going, it's harder going up. It can be scarier going down. And for example, like when you make your summit ascent going from 10,000 to 14,000 feet, that climb is typically going to be 8 hours just to go from, 10 to 14,000 feet. Coming back down to your camp in a boulder field from the summit to 10,000 feet, like, okay, you summited, took 8 hours to get there, coming back down that same distance, you get down in 2 hours. So it's a lot faster. But coming down, you get to see you get to see the angle. The angle looks a whole lot more severe going down, and
Sure.
you have a greater chance of falling in the descent because gravity is trying to get you to fall, and you're looking at that descent. So you can't go straight down. You got to go sideways. They call it the French step, and that kind of minimizes the angle of the descent. But uh, so obviously going up, it takes more effort to go up, but it's scarier coming down. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Now, 8 hours, that would mean, is there sleep time in those 8 hours? I know that sometimes you see them, they go into little tents on the side of the mountains. Do you go to the bathroom? Do you eat? I mean, how does that all work?
Okay, 14er, they say the mountain makes its own weather. But one thing that you can depend on any 14er, you're going to get storms and bad weather after 2 o'clock. And so that means that you have to reach the summit by noon. If you're not on track to reach the summit by noon, you've got to turn back around and not summit. Because if you're still on the up elevation and you can't get back down to 10,000 feet by 2 o'clock, you're going to get blown off the mountain, or you're going to get struck by lightning
Jesus.
because there's no okay, there's no vegetation up there. You're the lightning rod. You're the highest thing up there. You're going to get struck by lightning. So typically, you make your ascent climb no later than 4 a.m. and so that you can get to the summit by noon. To hedge your bets, it's better to actually start off at 3 a.m. So you're doing a night climb because it's dark at 3 a.m. You got your miner's flashlight on your climbing helmet so you can see. And then daybreak on a summer climb, you get your daybreak around 6:30, and then you got blinding light because the light is so much brighter on a mountain than it is,
Yeah, sure.
on normal terrain. And so, yeah, that 8 hours is typically going to go from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then you do your summit and you're back down to the boulder field at 10,000 feet by 1 o'clock. And that way you haven't got blown off the mountain by thunderstorms, by heavy winds. By heavy winds, I'm talking about it's typical to have 50, 60, 70-mile-hour winds on a mountain.
Jesus Christ.
So, it's it's typically like for a 14er, it's going to be a 3-day climb. Where the trailhead in the Rockies is usually around about 5,000 feet. So from 5,000 feet to get to 10,000 feet, that's usually about 8 hours. You're dealing with average elevation of about 40 degrees, and so that's pretty steep. It takes a lot of work to get there. You get there, you eat, you put up your tent, and you've got to have the tent really pegged in tight because that night weather comes in. You're going to get high winds, probably some rain, and so you don't want your tent to blow off because
Right.
then you're exposed. The next day you make your summit climb. You come back down at 2 o'clock. You're as tired as you can be. You eat again. You sleep in your tent, and then the third day you make your descent back to the trailhead.
Daryl, how many hours are usually in that trip is there actually sleeping? They're very short naps. How does that work?
Oh no, you work so hard that, like, say day one,
Yeah.
you eat, you set up your tent, and you're going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's dark. You got no TV. You're probably going to go to sleep probably around 8 o'clock, and you're going to sleep good. You got your sleeping bag, and it's not as comfortable, of course, as your bed, but you're so tired that you got no problem sleeping. It's not a nap. You're going to sleep as sound as you can.
And you're going to be dressed properly because you could cold in the middle of the night, obviously, and then in the summer and in the day it might be a little warmer. So, and what kind of food would you pack? What would you eat actually when you're up there? How does that all work?
Okay, there's a lot of trail camping food that's dry dehydrated food. You add water, you cook it up in your camp stove. So all you campers know what I'm talking about. You got the white gas. You learn how to cook, and because you're working so hard, the food is salty, but that's good because it helps you retain water that you need so you don't get dehydrated.
Sure.
And when you work so hard, the food tastes terrible, but when you're that hungry, everything tastes great.
Everything tastes great. Is it similar to what the astronauts do when they go up to the moon?
I don't know. Never been to the moon. That's
with those little packages and how they eat. I'm just wondering if that
probably
similar like that. Daryl Armistad, everybody, is on the air show with us today, and an incredible, fascinating guy, just like Craig Olson said. And our quote, the quote that Craig said, Daryl is a real world's most fascinating man. And you know what? I can say that is actually true. Musical director for Indiana Theater. That's pretty cool. Did you like doing the theater stuff, Daryl?
Yeah, that was fun. And I started doing that based on a lie, because I started working. Yeah, a lie. I started working at Indiana Civic Theater. They had a music director for a show that canceled in mid-production, and they were looking for a replacement. And they say, "Can you conduct an orchestra?" And I said, "Yes, I can." I had never conducted an orchestra, and so my cousin Mike Simmons had a music degree, and I got some quick lessons from him on how to conduct an orchestra. And so after that point, I was an orchestra conductor.
So there wasn't the book Quick Dummies, how to the Dummies book, how to direct an orchestra. I mean, that is so cool. And learned video production, started in the pandemic in 2020. So I didn't realize that, Daryl. I thought you knew all that stuff. This just happened in the downtime during 2020. You started learning all this video stuff because you made over 100 videos produced. Have the Daryl's Live show, the Diva show. You guys ran for almost through the pandemic. Yeah, so that must have been really cool. Why video production? Because you had a lot of time on your hands?
Yeah, well, it was something that I had planned to do because I got into green screen photography, which is not the same as green screen video. Because you could, with the camera, you can put in a background. You could use Photoshop to do the background, but putting in video backgrounds, it was an entirely different process. And so, I had always planned to learn it, and so I had the time with the pandemic, and so I just went on places like YouTube and how do you do this, how do you do that, and pretty soon I was up and rolling.
You and Sonia come up with some great videos that you guys do. I love them, the ones you guys do. I mean, you even had a lot of great hits on YouTube. So I love what you do with that, Daryl. And then, it's just after, if I would have ended this conversation now, it would have been, wow, that guy does a lot of stuff. He's fascinating. Wait a minute. That's just, no pun intended, but it's the tip of the iceberg. Because let's go down to another thing that I would never have thought when Daryl told me. I remember when Tony Sharp told me, Daryl's a comedian. I go, he is? So, comedy. Alumni Second City Theater Comedy School, performed at Second City, Laugh Out Loud, Finley's Duns, Hamburgers Mary's, Sandwich Freedom Hall. Wow. Now, comedy, I guess comedy, music, kind of all go the same. Why comedy? I mean, I know you've come up with those great one-liners, and you're very good at that. Did you see somebody that you loved and wanted to do it, or you always wanted to be a comic?
Kind of always wanted to do it. There's comedy and actors. They have a lot in common because anybody that does stand up, what they're doing is they're writing their comedy scripts, and then they memorize it like 90%, and the rest of the 10% they're kind of freewheeling. Um, and so I did a lot of acting in high school and college, and so performing, I'm used to it, and I love being in front of being in front of an audience. And so it was, I thought it was kind of a natural fit. And so it was one of those things that, I've always wanted to do it for a long time, but I waited until I think around 2017 when I actually started doing it. And then the pandemic hit. And so, I haven't done it since the pandemic, but I'll get back to it because I still have a lot of material. And, when you're doing comedy, you just have to write fresh material all the time. Some of my material is kind of dated because the routine I had about Princess Meghan and Prince Harry, nobody wants to hear about Meghan and Harry anymore. So I need some material.
It's old stuff. But like you said, you're learning all the time. Did you have a favorite comic, Daryl, if you had to name just one?
Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy, I think my favorites are everybody's favorites.
Yeah.
George Carlin.
Yeah, George Carlin. I mean, what a genius that George Carlin was. Richard Pryor, he's the only guy that can say the word fuck and everybody just laughs. I mean, he just had it. And one of the great Richard Pryor. Definitely lost a great entertainer with Richard. All right, so comedy. I can't wait for you to get back to doing that because I think that'll be a lot of fun. And then, the whole vegan thing. It's amazing, folks. It's got to be very hard to do. I've been on some road trips with Daryl. Hey, Daryl, they're going to feed us. You want to eat? No. I bought my own. Or if there's a certain restaurant in a different state or wherever we're at, he's got to find. So vegan, since a vegetarian, vegan, since 1997, a vegan since 2004. Now, that's a great question, Daryl, that maybe some people might not know. What is the big difference between a vegetarian and a vegan?
Okay, a vegan will eat no animal products like dairy, which includes milk, cream, butter, cheese, and even honey. That's an animal product. But a vegetarian can eat all of that. Okay,
so what made you change? I mean, 1997, you go, so I'm going to try something even better, to one step further to get. Was it health-wise? Is that why you did decide this, or just a choice of life?
Not personal health. My father died in 2004. He died of a stroke, but he also had prostate cancer. And so I was in a running club in Lake Zurich, and one of my running friends was an oncologist named Dr. J. And he said, I told him, hey, I was away last week at my father's funeral. And he said, oh, sorry to hear that. And he said, I've told my cancer patients that if they went vegan, their cancer would go in remission and stay in remission as long as they stayed vegan. And so I knew my father had prostate cancer. I didn't want to have prostate cancer in my future. And so I started immediately being vegan.
And you know what, Daryl, that's a great accomplishment to be able to do that. It must have been very easy. What was the hardest thing for you to give up?
Hardest thing, interesting. Well, I have so many foods that I used to eat and I still dream about and I still love. So, like all of the stuff that's bad for me, like fried chicken. Oh, I love fried chicken. Steaks.
Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah.
The list just goes on, and I love that stuff, but I just don't eat it anymore.
And you always pack your own stuff. It's very hard to go somewhere, right? I mean, you have to probably, when you find out you might be going to a new city or something, or a new town, you might want to scope it out to see if there's a vegan restaurant or a market somewhere, right, in the area.
I've got an app on my phone called Happy Cow.
Okay.
It's an app for vegans and vegetarians. and it tells me the place wherever I go. I pull up the app, and it tells me where the vegan restaurants are, if there's restaurants with vegetarian or vegan options, and so I can usually find somewhere to eat everywhere in the country except for Mississippi.
Oh, okay. And when we were in Mississippi, what did you eat there?
Well, I just ate the vegetables, but they didn't have any place that really catered that had vegan or vegetarian options. About the only city in Mississippi that has vegan restaurants is Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay. All right. There you go. Now, it's funny that he put this relapse. That's right, folks. He relapsed. And when Daryl relapsed, ladies and gentlemen, what could he have possibly done? He went out and bought a bag of potato chips, or he ate a big, whatever. No, he ate fish in Barcelona, Spain in 2012. The reason? I was hungry. Couldn't get enough vegetables to eat. Ate a turkey sandwich on the flight home from Chicago to Honolulu in 2005. Reason? It was a long flight and I got hungry. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's got to be. And you know what? If that's the only time you relapse, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much a stubborn guy, but I'm really flexible.
Yeah. And then let's get to stupid pet tricks. I love this. And a lot of people have different hobbies and stuff and different stuff. This is pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, you're watching Ocean Spit, the little show about big things with Daryl Armanstad, folks. And we got a couple more minutes. We gave Daryl the whole full hour because he's I could talk to him all day long. Listen to this, folks. Numerology. And Daryl says, and he quotes, I quote, "I don't believe in it, but it is a great party trick. Numerology analyzes personalities by name, date of birth, and gives forecasts of life events." All right, so you don't believe in it. Why mention it?
Because let's see, at parties, I actually do this. And if you're having a party and you want to have some great entertainment,
I have to interrupt you. Sonia Hicks, the diva herself, goes, "Ha ha! I did not know about the turkey sandwich. Ha ha! You just." Now you're going to get shit. All right, I'm sorry. Go back to numerology.
Okay. You're having a party, hire me to do numerology. People think that it's pretty accurate. And so I can do a numerological reading on you and your friends. And it's great entertainment. The same thing like handwriting analysis. I do that. And that gives some personality indications. People seem to think it's accurate. And if you're that gullible that you're going to believe in the power of suggestion and let me put my BS on you, well, then go right ahead and pay me for my time. But
for your time. So the numerology is all bullshit, right?
Well, okay. It seems people find it accurate, but I'll say it like this. Life is how you react to it. You could say, numerology could say you're going to have a bad day. Yeah. But if you keep your tailgate up, it's never a bad day.
Right. I mean, you have some up and downs, but you said it's never really a bad day because we wake up every morning. You're absolutely right. And graphology, there's the handwriting analyst. I'm a certified graphologist. I paid for the certification, even though I lost the certificate. I am still certified. Another great party trick handwriting is called brain writing, indicates personality, and can get whatever signatures are forgeries. So you can actually tell if a signature is forged or not?
I sure can. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And you're sticking to it. Daryl Armanstad, you got a lot of shows you're working. We got a lot of stuff coming up, me and you. Where are you at this weekend, my friend?
Okay, this week, tonight, I'm at Jen's Guest House in Willow Springs.
Beautiful place, outdoor patio. I love it out there. Very nice.
Right. From 6 to 9 with the Diva. Sonia Hicks and I were doing our BF&D, that's Black Frog and Diva show. Saturday night, I'm at Dee's Place in Glenview from 7:30 to 10:30. We're also doing our Black Frog.
Okay, wait. What's the Black Frog? Where did that come from?
Well, I'm the Black Frog.
I got the part, but why the frog?
Good question. I forgot the answer, but I think it goes something like, if you ever see a black frog in your dreams, then that's good fortune. It's just like seeing an elephant in your dreams. Touch my hand and good luck will rub off on you because I am the black frog.
Wait a minute. I never knew that about elephant. Is that true that if you see that in your dream, it's good for? I never knew that stuff, Steve.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, Daryl. We are coming. We got about 5 minutes left. Let me just throw some quick birthdays out. And then we'll go out the show together, me and you. First of all, Irene Mojica, very good friend of mine. Irene used to be a radio DJ for The Loop and a great singing voice in the Chicagoland area. Irene, happy birthday. Lori Laughlin. You might remember her from Full House, but you might remember her if she got arrested for buying her daughter's way through college. That made the headlines. Lori Laughlin, happy birthday. Tom Toomey, one of the original members of the British rock group The Zombies, celebrates a birthday today. Leslie, Rogia's daughter, my good friend Rogia. Leslie, happy birthday. John Stykes, part of the great band from Ireland, of course, Thin Lizzy, celebrates a birthday today. One of the great bass players in rock and roll from Canada, the great Geddy Lee, vocalist from the band Rush, celebrates a birthday today. Sally Struthers, better known as Gloria, Archie Bunker's daughter, turned 75 years old today. And Patty Scaffa, better known as Mrs. Boss, Bruce Springsteen. Of course, Bruce's wife, Patty, celebrates a birthday today. I'm going to ask you just a couple questions here, Daryl. First of all, with everything going on in this crazy world, some questions I'm going to throw out. Why do you believe that Congress, in your opinion, you know about the crazy stuff that happened with that Epstein on the island? That island where everybody, the celebrities and people went to this island supposedly for different things. Okay, so the guy gets arrested and then he supposedly hung himself, but they said it might have been a killing. We don't know what happened. But why do you think something like that, Congress is not over trying to expose who might have been on that list? In your opinion?
Well, because that's all criminal justice. That's got to be either Department of Justice if federal crime has been committed or local crime. But I don't think that's within the purview of Congress.
So that they have other things to worry about. Daryl, what kind of advice do you give with everything going on in these crazy world? Now, I had Laura on the phone with me, on the show with me yesterday, with these shootings and these people going into parades and these whatever other stuff that's going on. And it always seems like it's young males between a certain age, whatever it is, and they always seem like they're rebelling. People try to blame it all on either they're drunk, their drugs, or alcohol, or mental health. Yeah, that might be. But I also believe in some of the things that are going on in this world. I think it's just peer pressure. What do you think is going on more now? Now, this stuff might have been happening in the past, but we never heard so much about it. Now, granted, we do have social media now, but what do you think is going on, Daryl? What advice can you give to a kid if he came up to you and says, man, Daryl, I don't know, you're a very intelligent man, so give me your perspective.
Well, I look at it like this. People are people all over the world. You have the same amount of mental illness everywhere in the world. Everywhere is, especially in the industrialized world, the only countries that have low level of mental health problems or depression are places like Tonga. The places that aren't developed are that have very low levels of an industrialization, and people are married to their ideas, but reality. People are convinced of what they're convinced of. There's some people that are going to say, we need guns. I'm a gun supporter, or we need gun control. We have all that. The reality is that the countries that don't have a proliferation of guns in America, there's gun ownership. Every American, there's two or three guns for every American. As long as you have that many guns available, you're going to have the deaths and mass shootings that come with them. You have automatic weapons. you're going to have mass shootings. So as long as we're married to the idea that we need all these guns and we need the freedom to buy and sell all these guns,
yeah,
we're going to have the deaths. It's just part of the package. You can't grab chalk and not get chalk dust on you. The two come together.
Well, you know what? And you make a lot of sense of what you said, but Craig, my blood pressure went up. You're absolutely right on everything that's going on here, Daryl. And let's just say this real fast. A young kid comes up and says, Daryl, I want to be in the music business. What would you tell him? Would you tell him, go learn an instrument, or would you tell him turn the other way?
I would tell them to get into it with all your energy and your whole heart. And if you're in the music business, you're doing it to provide because you love people and provide a service. You want to serve those people with your music.
Yes.
And if you're rich by doing it, that's a blessing. God bless you. If you're not, if you're like most musicians and you're just making enough money to get by, well, that's the life you chose. And the reason why I say that is because if I had to do it all over again, instead of working 34 years at Allstate, I would have invested all my time and energy on being the best musician I could possibly be.
You know what, Daryl? I left a job when I was younger, making $40 an hour, working for my dad in the bakery. And that time was a lot of money at 19, 20, 21, whatever. And trying to get into music, I quit the job 2 times. And went to record deals that didn't happen. I mean, they came out, but nothing happened with them until this play, until I turned into Tony Ocean and changed my life around. If I had to do it all over again, brother, I'd be right there. I would do exactly the same thing. Before Daryl goes, we got to thank 2 more sponsors, folks. We want to thank our good friends, of course, from Portillo's. If you have a non-profit organization looking to raise money for your special event, our son Joey works for Portillo's in the marketing department. Please give him a call at 224-636-3646. He can help you with that. Or go to jfank@portillos.com. Anything they sell over $200, you get 20% of the proceeds. It's a good thing to do if you're looking to raise some money. Also, and last but not least, folks, our good friends from Patriot Funding Incorporated, commercial money lending at its finest when timing is everything. Dave Antonelli and the great Patriot Funding. 630-675-4730. He'll take care of all the money lending needs. Hard money, cannabis, they do it all. That's Patriot Funding Incorporated. Daryl, it's been great to have you on the show, brother. It's great to have you as a friend. I'm proud to have you as a friend. I'm proud to have you as a fellow musician. I learned so much from you, and I'm wanting to learn more as we go along. I'm just hoping that things change in the future for the younger generation and for just us in general. And I hope there's peace and we can just, it's just so crazy. You turn on the television, you turn on the news, you try to find happy stories and you just can't. And there's always more bullshit stuff that keeps happening. But one thing I noticed and you noticed, no matter where you're from, no matter what nationality, whatever color, whatever it is, there's one thing that brings everybody together, and that's music. And it just goes to show when the pandemic hit, Daryl, and you were doing your stuff and we were doing the driveway stuff and videos, everybody they all came around that. And thank God we all have that, man. Because imagine if there was no music in the world.
It'd be a terrible world.
It would be a terrible world. Daryl, I want to thank you for being on, my friend, and we do appreciate it. And if they want to get a hold of you, what's the website, Daryl?
DarylArmistad.com.
Got it. Phone number if they want to reach you, or you can just, how about Facebook page? You're all on that? You're on all the social media outlets?
All the social media. Phone number is 847-971-3809.
Got it. Now, folks, kids, if you want to have a party planner, Daryl can come and read signatures and read the numbers and come on, have a little private party. He can do some comedy. He'll DJ. He'll get a little bit. He's all in one. Teach you how to climb a mountain, stop eating chicken, and all that other good stuff. Anyway, Daryl, thank you, my brother. We're going to see a lot of each other coming up, so I wish you the best, my brother. Knock them out this weekend. I love you, man, from my heart. Appreciate it.
Love you, Tony. Thank you, buddy.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mr. Daryl Armistad, the professor, folks. Everybody, we got to go. Now, folks, remember, support local establishments. Go out and see live entertainment. Buy local, shop local. Be cool, man. In the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. We need it more than ever, man. If you have something that's going on, a beef with somebody, if you can try to make it, at least try to come together again. It might never be like it was, but try to go to bed every night being happy, man. Just be happy. That's all we got. Love you, brother. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you tonight at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. Tomorrow, Taverna on Division in Melrose Park. And don't forget to see my good buddy Daryl at Jenny's Guest House tonight. And where are you at Saturday, Daryl?
Dee's Place in Glenview.
In Glenview, Illinois. So, guys, God bless you. Have a great day. Thank you, guys. We are out.